guys. As well, I'll let you know that as we'll have some time for questions here, and afterwards we do have some material from the Olympic Resistance Network. If you are outraged and upset about inviting the corrupt IOC to enjoy the fruits of Vancouver's resources and all of our public funds, you can certainly get some more information about what to do about that on the side here. We have literature and buttons and stickers and lovely t-shirts that are bound to get you a visit from the Olympic Police. So if nothing else, that's worth picking up. And we probably have some questions. So if you raise your hand, I'll kind of take a poll, but don't speak unless you get called out, if you don't mind.
I found out, I want this clarified because somebody, there was two people, I could be wrong about this. Supposed in 1976, Montreal Olympics, a number of the actual African countries boycotted it because of South Africa came to it. Do you know any background?
I think it was Rhodesia, wasn't it? I don't think that South Africa was excluded from all global sport organisations at the time. My memory is that Rhodesia, which was an area of conflict as the white regime was right to hang on, was allowed to send a team. That's my memory. Anybody, am I right? Am I wrong? Anybody remember? I don't remember South Africa then. They'd been excluded much earlier. But I mean, it's a similar issue. It's white regime in southern Africa.
So was there a boycott of some of the African countries?
Yeah.
I was surprised because there was in Canada too. But I was talking to somebody about it once and they told me about it. And somebody back, but of course I got these countries.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a television event. You all got tickets? Can you get tickets? Is it easy to get tickets? It's a TV event. Think of the money you'd save if you were watching on TV in, I don't know who the rival cities were. You could laugh at them, couldn't you? And watch the sport you wanted to watch and hope that you were watching clean sport. Because you're going to watch it on TV anyway, like the rest of the world. Not many people are going to get tickets, I don't think.
I believe here you have to win a lottery and pay to get a ticket. Anybody else?
I'm curious what you think of the relationship the IOC manages with local mainstream media in every host region. To me, the ethics of partnering with journalists who are supposed to be non-partisan, it doesn't make sense. But in host region after host region, for example, Vancouver Sun is an Olympic partner, the Globe and Mail is an Olympic partner. They actually hide that relationship. Not well, but how can this keep happening in host region after? Can't we figure this out?
I can have a go.
You want to speak in the microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, local media organisations, regional media organisations partnering with the organising committee. Well, I do find it distasteful because our job as reporters is to be disliked. Our job is to hold authority to account. We're supposed to be unprincipled in the sense we'll hit the left, we'll hit the right, anybody else. If we've got a story, we've got a document. We've got a story that should be getting out to the folks out there to educate them. We work full time at getting information. You've got other jobs. You can't do it. We have to serve you, and we want to be trusted by you. And I think getting commercially involved in that sort of activity is a poor judgment, and I wonder at the end how much value the media organisations will derive from it. I think it's unthinking. I think there is this problem that there's been a paucity of Olympic discussion and education, and so it's all a jolly good thing, isn't it, and pretty sacred as well. And there's not enough sitting back and saying, what is this beast coming to town and what are we going to do about it? And in the culture of reporters I come from, which is quite a big one, we'd be going, whoa, let's get after them now, because that's what we do. We don't want to be liked. Don't care. Get the story right, preferably with documents, and most of my work is very, very document driven, which is why they don't sue me, because they never know how many documents I might produce in my defence. So they I remember Samrak used to put it around after the first book that, well, you know, these English, They want Princess Anne to be president of the IOC. You are being faced right now by someone who thinks a republic would be a proper way to organise our society. Whilst I don't wish to take the Windsor family to the interesting machinery devised in 1789, I think we could invite them to go to just one of their palaces and stay there, and we will get on with a more democratic system. But that was the quality of the response. Oh, it's British author, must want... Oh, God's sake. So, I do think that's a mistake by the media, but I think it's unthinking. I don't see conspiracy, I see cock-up far more often. There are conspiracies, but not as many as some people would like to think. They shouldn't do it. Our job is to scrutinise, hold to account, be awkward, be polite. There's no reason to be rude at first. But ask the bloody question. Why will none of you ask the question? Any IOC member, can you, excuse me, sir, because there's not many women, excuse me, sir, how would you describe, what label would you give to former IOC President Sam Rankin, now Life President's political views? How would you describe them? They wouldn't say anything, because they'd have to use the F word. You know, right-wing conservative is not acceptable because right-wing conservatives go to the ballot box and have a right to be at the ballot box and to put their arguments and see if they can win elections or not. That's fine, we must not have any trouble with that, same with the left. But fascists don't believe in democratic elections, which of course suits the IOC well, because one fascinating thing to me that came out of the Salt Lake scandal, and you remember the global ridicule, there wasn't a cartoonist anywhere. And probably on the Vancouver Sun, their cartoonists, probably back in 98 into 99 into 2000, will be giving them plenty of stick. Everybody did, every cartoonist in the world, and they've forgotten that. Because what reforms came out? They merged the Education Committee and the Cultural Committee. Helen Knowlton invented this process. It took 9 months and most of the reporters died before they reached the end of it. One criticism made globally was, well, why can't we have some accountability? Why can't we have some elections? Why you self-select? You choose people like yourselves because they're the right stuff, the right sort of people. And they went through this process, and at the end they select people like themselves. And the media was so tired by the end of 1999 that I remember being in Lausanne. I was working for BBC and we were being critical, but they couldn't keep us out then. And watching all these beautifully dressed reporters, nearly all men, you know when they do the whole thing, you see the line-up outside the White House, outside your parliament and so on, there's a whole row of them on the steps of the Palais de Boulieu, I think it's called, in Lausanne, and they've all been given the same press release which Helen Knowlton, because they guided, they ran that whole process from the moment the proverbial hit the fan. And they're all doing beautifully dressed. I couldn't afford clothes like that. Doing the straight piece into camera. Today, the IOC has produced 50 stunning reforms. Helen Knowlton wrote that. Yes, from now on the IOC president will get 8 years and then could be re-elected for a further 4. Well, there's a shocker. there's the tectonic plates moving under the world. What a shame that all these very good cartoonists everywhere, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, who really stiffed the IOC, with bags of swag. They weren't always very good drawings, but boy, everybody got stuck in, and it's been forgotten. Didn't happen. So I think it's very poor judgment, and it's for you to decide whether your local reporters have held, not so much the IOC, but VANOC to account. Have they asked the difficult questions that reporters are supposed to ask? Not being patriotic. Patriotic to what? Pay more taxes? Well, you could build more schools, couldn't you? I was downtown yesterday looking at the people lying on the pavement, and there seems to be a certain imbalance in where your public money is going, because it certainly doesn't appear to be doing much for some very sad people who need help. They need to detox. You know